He often credited his success to that life-changing night at Patty's Diner. And though he'd never met Elon Musk in person, he carried the billionaire's words with him. Sometimes, all it takes is one person believing in you to make all the difference. Kara's dream of opening her own diner came true, and she named it the Giving Table, a place where everyone was welcome and kindness was always on the menu. Every time she saw a struggling family or an aspiring young dreamer walk through the doors, she thought of Elon and the note that had changed her life. A message for all. The impact of Elon's gesture wasn't just financial. It was a testament to the power of empathy and human connection. Kara often reminded her customers and friends of this simple truth. Kindness has a ripple effect. You never know whose life you'll change just by believing in them. The story of Elon Musk and the Waitress became a cherished tale in the community, a beacon of hope and a reminder that sometimes the most extraordinary changes come from the simplest acts of kindness. The sun had just dipped below the horizon, casting a warm, golden glow over the city of Austin, Texas. At the edge of the bustling downtown area stood a quaint, unassuming diner with a flickering neon sign that read, Patty's Diner. It was the kind of place where the coffee was always hot, the conversations were easy, and the regulars felt like family. Inside, the clatter of plates and the hum of conversation created a comforting symphony of life. For Kara Thompson, the evening was anything but comforting. As a single mother juggling two jobs, Kara's life was a constant whirlwind of responsibilities. Her shift at the diner was just another step in the exhausting dance she performed daily to keep food on the table and a roof over her and her son Malik's heads. With her worn sneakers and a slightly frayed apron tied around her waist, Kara was the picture of resilience, a woman determined to make the best of her circumstances, no matter how hard life pushed her. 8-year-old Malik was her world. A bright-eyed boy with an insatiable curiosity, he often stayed up late, tinkering with old electronics Kara brought home from thrift stores. Malik dreamed of becoming an engineer, but Kara couldn't help but worry about how she'd ever afford to nurture his big dreams. Tonight, as she glanced at the small photo of him tucked inside her notepad, her chest tightened with a familiar mix of pride and fear. She had to keep going for him. The diner was unusually packed for a Friday night. Kara moved swiftly between tables, balancing trays and refilling coffee cups with practiced ease. Each smile she gave her customers was genuine, but behind it lay 1,000 unspoken worries. The electric bill was due, Malik's school needed money for a field trip, and the car was making strange noises again. But Kara had long learned to mask her struggles behind a calm and composed demeanor. The faint jingle of the diner's bell snapped Kara from her thoughts. She glanced toward the entrance, her routine smile ready to greet another customer. But as soon as her eyes landed on the man who had just walked in, she froze. He was tall, with a confident stride and an air of quiet authority. His tailored suit and unmistakable face made her heart skip a beat. It was him, Elon Musk. For a moment, Kara wondered if she was imagining things. What was someone like Elon Musk doing in a modest, out-of-the-way diner like Patty's? The billionaire entrepreneur who had sent rockets into space, revolutionized electric cars, and shaped the future was now standing in her little corner of the world. As he scanned the room, his piercing blue eyes seemed to take everything in with genuine interest, not arrogance. He chose a booth by the window and sat down, completely at ease in the unpretentious surroundings. Kara's pulse quickened as she grabbed her notepad and approached his table. She wiped her hands nervously on her apron, taking a deep breath to steady herself. "Good evening," she said, her voice tinged with awe. "Welcome to Patty's Diner. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Elon looked up from the menu, his gaze locking onto hers. He offered a small, friendly smile. "A coffee would be great. Thank you." Kara nodded quickly, her mind racing as she turned to get his order. She could feel the eyes of the other customers following her, murmurs of excitement spreading like wildfire through the diner. It wasn't every day that someone like Elon Musk walked into a place like this. And little did Kara know, this was no ordinary encounter. What started as a simple coffee order would soon become the moment that changed her life forever. It was a bustling Friday evening at a small, cozy diner on the outskirts of Austin, Texas. The smell of freshly brewed coffee mixed with the scent of sizzling burgers filled the air. For Cara Thompson, a hardworking single mother and waitress, it was just another long shift. The diner was her lifeline, a place where she poured her energy into making ends meet while dreaming of a better future for her and her 8-year-old son, Malik. She had no idea that this particular night would change her life forever. A special customer walks in. Cara wiped her hands on her apron as the sound of the diner's bell rang out. She turned to greet the next customer, but stopped short when she saw who had walked in. The man was tall, with a sharp suit and an unmistakable presence. His face was one she'd seen countless times on the news and social media. It was Elon Musk, the billionaire entrepreneur. She froze for a moment, disbelief washing over her. What was a man like him doing in a modest diner like this? Elon scanned the room with a friendly smile and chose a corner booth near the window. Cara's heart raced as she approached his table. "Good evening," she said, trying to keep her voice steady. "Welcome to Patty's Diner. Can I get you started with something to drink?" Elon looked up, his piercing blue eyes meeting hers. "A coffee would be great. Thank you," he said warmly. Cara nodded and hurried off to get his order. She couldn't help but wonder why someone as wealthy and famous as Elon Musk was dining alone in such a humble spot. The other customers had noticed him too, whispering among themselves and sneaking glances. A quiet conversation. When Cara returned with his coffee, she mustered the courage to speak. "If you don't mind me asking, what brings you here?" she asked, her curiosity getting the better of her. Elon chuckled softly. "Sometimes, the best ideas come when you step away from the noise. And besides, I've heard this diner makes a mean apple pie." Cara smiled, relaxing a little. "Well, you heard right. Patty's pie is the best in town. Would you like a slice?" "Absolutely," Elon replied. "And what's your favorite thing on the menu?" Cara was taken aback by his question. Billionaires didn't usually ask about the preferences of waitresses. I'd say the chicken pot pie. It's comfort food, you know?" Elon nodded thoughtfully. "Comfort food is underrated. I'll take that too, please." As Cara walked back to the kitchen, she couldn't shake the feeling that there was something different about him. Despite his wealth and fame, he seemed grounded, approachable even. An unexpected connection. Over the course of the evening, Elon and Cara exchanged small talk whenever she brought something to his table. She told him about her son, Malik, who dreamed of becoming an engineer but often struggled with school due to limited resources. Elon listened intently, asking questions about Malik's interests and what inspired him. "Sounds like he's got big dreams," Elon said with a smile. "It's great that he has a mom who believes in him." Cara blushed, feeling a mixture of pride and embarrassment. "I just want to give him a chance. It's hard sometimes, but he's a good kid. He deserves the world." Elon nodded, his expression thoughtful. "You're doing more than you realize, Cara. Sometimes, all it takes is one person believing in you to make all the difference." His words struck a chord with her, and for a moment, she forgot she was talking to one of the world's richest men. He seemed genuine, as though he truly cared. The note on the check. As the night wore on, the diner began to empty. Elon finished his meal and asked for the check. Cara brought it over, along with a to-go box for the leftover pie. "I hope everything was to your liking," she said, feeling a little sad that their conversation was coming to an end. "It was perfect," Elon said, handing her the check with his credit card tucked inside. "Thank you for the great service, Cara." She smiled and walked back to the counter to process the payment. When she returned, Elon had already left. She placed the signed receipt in the register, but noticed something unusual. There was a folded piece of paper tucked under the receipt. Curious, Cara opened it. Her eyes widened as she read the handwritten note. "Cara, thank you for sharing your story with me. Your kindness and resilience are inspiring. I've left something for you to help Malik pursue his dreams. Never stop believing in yourself or him." Beneath the note, her jaw dropped as she saw the amount Elon had tipped her. $50,000. Tears streamed down her face as the magnitude of his generosity sank in. This wasn't just a tip, it was a lifeline, a chance to give Malik opportunities she had only dreamed of. A night of reflection. After the diner closed, Kara sat alone in one of the booths, still trying to process what had happened. She thought about Malik's face when she'd tell him the news and imagined all the doors that would now be open for him. Her heart swelled with gratitude, not just for the money but for the kindness and validation Elon had shown her. She thought about the struggles she'd faced over the years, working double shifts, skipping meals to make sure Malik was fed, and sacrificing her own dreams to ensure he had a chance at his. For the first time in a long time, she felt like those sacrifices had been worth it. Sharing the news. The next morning, Kara woke up feeling as if the events of the previous night had been a dream. But the check was real, and so was the note. She couldn't wait to tell Malik. When he came into the kitchen, rubbing sleep from his eyes, Kara pulled him into a hug. "Malik, something incredible happened last night." She showed him the note and the check. His eyes widened in disbelief. "Mom, does this mean I can go to that engineering camp?" Kara nodded, tears streaming down her cheeks. "It means so much more than that, baby. This is our chance to build a better future." Word of Elon's generosity spread quickly. The diner became a local hotspot, with people hoping for a glimpse of the man who had changed Kara's life. News outlets picked up the story, and soon Kara was being interviewed about her experience. "He didn't just leave me money," Kara said during one interview. "He reminded me that there are still people out there who care, who want to make a difference. I'll never forget what he did for us." A bright future. With the money, Kara was able to enroll Malik in a prestigious engineering program and move into a safer neighborhood with better schools. She also started taking business classes, determined to one day open her own diner and pay forward the kindness she had received. As for Elon, he continued to visit small diners and connect with everyday people, finding inspiration in their stories. He never sought recognition for his generosity, believing that true kindness didn't need an audience. For Kara and Malik, the note on the check was more than just a generous tip, it was a turning point. It was proof that, even in the darkest moments, a single act of kindness could light the way forward. A legacy of kindness. Kara often looked back on that night as a reminder of how unpredictable life could be. She taught Malik to work hard, dream big, and always be kind, just as Elon Musk had shown kindness to them. She shared the story with her customers and friends, hoping to inspire others to pay it forward. Years later, Malik graduated with honors in engineering and started a nonprofit to help underprivileged kids gain access to STEM education.